Hey everybody, I'm John, and this is Blind Whiskey Reviews. Hey everybody, and thank you so much for joining me here on Blind Whiskey Reviews, where we're going to be doing another of our No Time Like the Present reviews, where I crack open a brand new bottle of whiskey so I can give you guys my thoughts on this whiskey before we get to the blind review down the line. So today I'm very excited to be doing this one. I've been sitting on this bottle for a really long time, hoping that it would come up for a review, and it never did. So I said, forget that. We're doing a No Time Like the Present review, so I grabbed it, and we're doing that today. This is the Joseph Magnus Straight Bourbon Whiskey finished in sherry and cognac cask. This is triple cask finished, bottled at 50% alcohol by volume at 100 proof, and I believe somewhere on here it tells you that it is bottled in marriage of bourbon finished in Oloroso sherry casks, Pedro Jimenez sherry casks, and cognac casks. So those are the three casks this is finished in. And I'm really excited to get into this one. I've had the opportunity of trying other Joseph Magnus products before. I believe at some point I've also tried this whiskey, but I don't really recall, to be quite honest with you. And I'm fine with that because I get to deal with it with you guys today and explore what we've got Joseph Magnus has to offer. So I have actually been able to try their cigar casks or their cigar finish whiskey. And that was enjoyable, so I can't imagine this is going to be any different of an experience. Ah, great pop on that one. Beautiful rich nose on this too. So, for those of you that don't know, I believe Magnus is sourced whiskey that they procure and then do the finishing process on. I'm pretty sure it is MGP whiskey. Oh my goodness, that smells amazing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they source all their stuff from MGP, which I'm never mad at. I love MGP's whiskey. I think they make fantastic stuff, and if you can still get some of their aged stocks, and especially with them doing a nice finish on it to kind of make it their own, I think it's fantastic stuff. So, let's not wait too much longer, and let's get into this. So much going on in this nose. I mean, this nose could probably take you 10 minutes to pick apart. I mean, there's so much deep, dark, rich character. For those of you that are not familiar with MGP, I mean, for me, especially on the older aged MGP product, you know, when you're getting there in like the 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old MGP products especially, it gets really deep, really dark flavors. You're getting a lot of that dark fruit, cherry, blackcurrant, plum, to go along with the brown sugars, the caramels, a lot of deep, rich oaky notes. And so this has all of that, but you can also smell these finishes they have on it. And I'm no, I make no claims that I'm a master of finishes by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm definitely picking up. I've gotten a little bit better at this stuff because I've had the opportunity to try like cognacs and things like that lately in Armagnacs, and I really need to try sherries just so I can see what kind of flavor components those are really adding to the whiskeys. I have a good idea, but I really would like to try them on their own. So if you guys have any recommendations for any sherry I should try, leave it in the comments down below. Yeah, just so much deep, dark richness here. And it's not smelling overly sweet at this point. You're not getting a lot of those light fruits here. You're getting cherry. You're getting plum. You're getting fig. You can definitely pick up on some of that like wine sweetness. Those rich, deep fruits from the wine, that dark fruit character. I feel like you can definitely distinguish between like these MGP contributed dark characters and the wine contributed dark characters. There's definitely a difference there, kind of where they hit you on the nose. There's some vanilla here. I don't know. It smells amazing. I cannot wait to taste this. So let's stop waiting and get into the tasting. Cheers. the palate does not disappoint. So, first taste, but I mean, all that deep, dark richness was there. You really can't perceive a lot of alcohol here. Just a touch of heat on the tongue, but I mean, it's really mild. It's really just an explosion of flavor. I think it's punching well above its weight in terms of flavor. This is a 100 proof whiskey. It definitely has the flavor of, the 110, 120 range, but it definitely has the drinkability of maybe like a 95 to 100 proof whiskey. I mean, it's slightly smoother than you would think it would be, even at 100 proof. Let's get another taste though. Yeah, this was more rich than the first. I'm picking up so many different characters here. Very complex, very rich, but not too sweet. And I'm loving that about this. I'm really enjoying it. I can only imagine what some airtime, a couple months of airtime is going to do for this whiskey and how these flavors are going to develop. I'm really excited to try this down the line. But as we always do in these reviews, I'm going to let this sit in the glass for 20 or 30 minutes. Let it just open up a little bit, see if we can kind of coax some more characters out of this thing and see how it's doing with just a touch more airtime. So we will be back in just a second with those results. All right, so the whiskey has been sitting in the glass for around about 20 minutes, giving it a slight opportunity to open up since it was obviously a neck pour on this bottle. I'm sure you realize that I'm so far really enjoying this whiskey, and I can only imagine that any kind of airtime on this is going to only help it improve and open up a little bit. So let's see what we got. I mean, if anything, it just ramped up those fruity characters. The finish is just coming forward like crazy right now. I'd say it's pretty, it's finished in 2 different sherry casks and a cognac cask, and I think the sherry is definitely more prevalent than the cognac is on the finish. I've kind of found in the limited experience with cognac I have that it does present some kind of like spicy character, and I feel like there is such a slightest hint of it hiding in there, but it's there. And I enjoy that. Like I said, it only adds to the complexity of this whiskey, which I think is great. Let's get to the taste. Yeah, I don't think it's tasting too dissimilar to what it tasted like after we did the fresh pour. Very similar characters here. Let me get a drink of water. See if that maybe helps us open up something here. See that residual water in my mouth maybe helps this open up a touch too. Yeah, I think that drink actually kind of helped a little bit. Whether it was the residual water or just cleaning off my palate, it definitely brought a big punch of kind of what I mentioned on the nose, that the finishes really started to come forward a little bit more. Now it was the same on the palate. Just a big pop of these deep fruit sherry type characters. And I'm feeling like I even taste that cognac just a little bit in the morning. The cognac really comes through on the finish more than on the palate, I feel like. You're getting that slight cognac spice that I'm getting on the palate, or excuse me, on the finish. It's kind of lingering. It's really nice. It's got a nice long finish. I wouldn't say it's incredibly long, but it's a nice long end to medium, bordering into that like a really long type finish. Mouthfeel is great. It's nice and coating. I wouldn't necessarily call it oily, but it definitely has a good coating, rich mouthfeel. And the flavors are great. Let me get one more taste. Yeah, more of the same. I'm sure you've understood by now that I enjoy this. So, there's a lot to dive into in this whiskey. there's a lot of complexity, a lot of flavor, and I really appreciate that. I really love that in a whiskey. There's nothing that makes a whiskey more interesting than that to me. There's complexity, something you can explore. That takes you on a journey, on an adventure, and this whiskey does that. Again, is this something I want to drink necessarily every day? No. This isn't your everyday drinker type whiskey. This is a sit down, explore the flavors, and it's got enough flavor to stand up to other things. I mean, you could definitely pair this with food. I'm not a big cigar smoker, but I would imagine if you're going to smoke a cigar with whiskey, this would be a good one to do it with. There's a lot of depth and flavor and complexity here. And they have their cigar blend, which was really delicious as well. So I'm very excited to have done this whiskey. As like I said, it's really delicious. For my score on this, I'm reluctant to give it such a high score, but I'm really enjoying this. I'm going to give it a 90. I'm going to give it a 93. I think it's fantastic. And again, I'm going to give you the caveat though. If you do not like finishes on whiskey, you will maybe not like this. I don't think that the finishes are strong. They're not, I don't think it's like unbalanced. Excuse me. I don't think it's like an unbalanced whiskey where the finish is too much. It's definitely present though. And if you don't like that sherry finish on a whiskey, you are not going to like this. So I would recommend you try it at a bar. If you're questioning whether, finishes are your thing or not, try it at a bar or something first. Try it at a buddy's house. So that way you can figure out if it's something that you like before you dive into the bottle. This bottle is not cheap. It retails for somewhere right around $100, which is kind of my pain point. Like if you get to the $100 range, you really have to be solid whiskey. And for me, a sourced MGP whiskey at 100-ish proof, $60 is probably a relatively normal price for that these days. And with all the finishes and the extra work and what's gone into this, and to be honest, a quite beautiful packaging. I really love the bottling and the label as well. I think you're getting close to it really being worth that $100. So, yeah, for me, this is a great whiskey. I obviously gave it a great score. I would love to know what you guys think of any of the Magnus products you've tried. Down in the comments below, let me know what your thoughts are. If you've had the cigar blend, this triple cask finished release. They also have like the Murray Hill Club release that I've never tried. So let me know what you think of any of those, or if you've had the single barrel selections that they offer at different retailers. Let me know. I've never tried one of those, so I'm looking forward to hopefully getting my hands on one of those soon. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think? As always, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at blind_reviews. You can send me an email at blindwhiskeyreviews@gmail.com. And until the next time, cheers.